Hello fellow geeks and welcome back to Running Geek Girl. My name is Heather and I'm glad you're here because it's time for the monthly update. If you are new here, first of all, make sure that you hit that subscribe button down below so that you don't miss any of the running content I have coming out all the time. The monthly update is what I do at the end of every month just to kind of give you an idea of what I'm doing as far as training, new gear and equipment, races and medals over the past month, and what's going to be coming up both on my race calendar and on the channel for the next month. So another month has gone by. Wow, that went quickly. I've been training mostly for my first 50K that is coming up on April 9th. And let's just take a look at how training has gone over the past month. Here we go. Well, here we are. The first week of March is done and things are, well, they were warming up and now here we are with it getting sunny and cool again and hoping for some warmer temperatures maybe next week. So managed to keep on top of my training and it kind of ramped up a little last week, then it backs off a little this week, so get a little bit of a break, which is good because this week also happens to be my birthday. And over the weekend I had to do back-to-back long runs, with one focusing on elevation and the other with time on feet. So today I am just stretching my legs out with a nice easy walk around the neighborhood for a few miles and call it a day. Staying optimistic that I will get through this month and be ready for the OT50 at the beginning of next month. Of course, this month I've got a 5K coming up. I've got a little bit of travel coming up, so it is business as usual. And we will see where we are after this easy week. Catch you guys in a bit. It is a rainy day, but I've gotten through another week of training. Last week was a low mileage week as part of the training plan, which always just feels really unsettling to me. I don't like low mileage weeks. I realize that I need them in order to kind of recover, but I don't know. I just overall feel like I maybe am not doing enough to get ready for this 50K, and I think it's because a lot of these training plans are kind of based around people that can cover more mileage in a shorter amount of time than I can, and I don't know, it just feels like I'm not doing enough. But this week is ramping up. There's a lot more easy runs and then 2 really long runs over the weekend, so we will see how that goes. And in the meantime, I'm hoping that the weather starts to clear up. We had exactly one sunny day all weekend, and that was the day that I was able to go out and get a trail run in. But kind of keeping things easy, getting a little bit more strength training in, and we'll see how the runs go this weekend. So here we go. And another week has gone by. We've had warm weather, we've had cold weather, we've had rain, we have had wind, but I managed to get all of my workouts done, including really kind of a long weekend. 2.5 hours on Friday on the trails, Saturday morning a 5K, immediately after that another 2 hours on the trails. So my legs are tired, but still feeling pretty strong. Went for a 45-minute run walk today just to kind of shake everything loose, and a rest day tomorrow, so I'll probably just take some easy walks, but I'm managing to stay on top of everything. I've been testing out some new gear, some different hydration, finding things that work, getting suggestions from people, so it has definitely been a productive week. Not so much on the strength training front, I will admit. I've been just trying to fit it in little spots in the day without having to dedicate specific time to just do strength training, but strength training is happening, albeit in little short pieces. But I'm still getting things done. I am still feeling good about everything, and the runs are going to get even longer this weekend, so let's see how I hold up until then. I will catch you guys in a week. Hey guys, so here we are. It is the last week of March. Over the weekend I had some more long back-to-back runs. The first one I did on Friday and did the longer one on Saturday. That one needed to go between 2 and 3 hours, and I think I ended up going about 2:45, 2:50, and To be honest, I was a little bit tired towards the end of it, but I could have kept going, and that's what counts. I have figured out how to stretch my hydration. I have tackled several different methods for fueling. So now it's just time to taper and a couple more long runs and then some easy runs leading up to race day. I was a little bit sore getting up the day after my longer run, not gonna lie, just a little bit fatigued, but instantly got up and did an easy 45-minute run walk on the treadmill and definitely felt a lot better afterwards. So today is a rest day, just taking a nice easy walk around the neighborhood for a little bit, and now we're gonna see what we're doing going into next month. I have no hard plans after the OT 50. We're gonna see how I feel, gonna focus on recovering and see where that leads us. So let's take it back inside. So there's a look at how training has gone over the past month. And of course, if you've been watching the channel, then you know that several times I have posted videos of my long runs, especially my back-to-back long runs that happened over the weekend in preparation for the Ouachita Trail 50K, which, as I mentioned before, is going to be coming up on April 9th. So that brings us into races and medals. Let's take a look at what has happened over the last month and what's going to be happening over the month of April. Now, during the last month, I only had one race that was on the calendar since all of my effort has been concentrating on preparing for the 50K, but I did get my first official 5K done for the year, and that was the Cabot Spring Fling 5K held by Cabot Cruisers. It is one that has been on hiatus for a couple of years, and they brought it back this year. I'm going to have a link up here in case you missed my video where I talked a little bit about that, but here is another look in case you missed that video at the race medal for the Spring Fling 5K. I got a medal because I was first place finisher in my age group, which was a big surprise. I had kind of tired myself out the day before doing a long run and did another long run after the 5K, but I was trying to kind of set a benchmark for myself so that I could chisel some time off of that over the course of the next year. So as usual, it was an incredibly organized race. It was really fun. You had your really competitive runners that were there because it's part of the Arkansas Grand Prix series. You had your recreational runners there. We had people that walked the entire course. So everybody just kind of ran the gamut of every kind of 5K participant that you could possibly think of. They had kids races, they had family activities, huge food to choose from afterwards. So lots of barbecue and pizza and cookies and cupcakes, and of course your usual fruit and Gatorade. And so wonderful, wonderful race. I was really happy to be a part of that, and I'm happy to see where I can go as far as my 5K this year. And that brings us to what's going to be upcoming this weekend. As in a couple of days after this video comes out, I'm going to be running a 5K here in town that I run every year. It's one that's very dear to my heart. That's the Stride to Prevent Suicide 5K, hosted by the Dr. Robert Elliott Foundation. It's a great race. They get a fairly good turnout every year, and it's always for a good cause. And of course, the big one coming up in April that I have been training for is the Ouachita Trail 50K and 50 miler. I'm doing the 50K portion of it. I'm starting to hit the nervous stage of being ready for it because a lot of the training has not been so much about the distance. I have not covered anywhere near the full 50K distance or even close to a marathon distance, but I have been doing a lot of back-to-back runs, a lot of speed work on tired legs, and a whole lot of just mental endurance, a lot of things about just being mentally prepared, because I've done a couple of marathons. I know that I can push my way through that, and this is just about developing a stronger mental game in order to get me through the rest of it. I do know that the course is fairly flat. Of course, nothing in Arkansas is completely flat. You've got some little hills that you've got to contend with, but of course the big challenge of the course is having to scale Pinnacle Mountain around mile 5 and then descend down the other side. And then after the out and back, then you come back to Pinnacle Mountain, but instead of going up, you take Base Trail around. I practiced doing that a few times. I've practiced going up and down some smaller hills just on the trails where I usually run. So I've really just kind of done all I can to prepare other than running the actual distance of it, which, like I said, I've done distances, and it's just mentally trying to get through it. So Getting a little bit nervous as that is coming up fairly soon, so make sure that you are subscribed to the channel so that you can see how things go with that race, as well as with the Stride to Prevent Suicide 5K that I am running this weekend. There will be race report videos on both. Taking a look at new gear and equipment that I have tried out over the course of the last month. Not a whole lot, because I'm trying not to introduce too many new things while I am 50K training. Of course, the big thing that I added this month was the ouachita hydration trail running vest, which I did a review on, and I'm going to have a link up here and down in the description so that you can check that out in case you missed it. I have continued to train in this, and I'm really liking it. I am using the soft flasks, one with water and one with a drink with electrolytes, usually Tailwind or Liquid IV. I found that I can make those stretch pretty far. I should not have any trouble keeping my hydration going between aid stations, because the aid stations do come up fairly frequently over the course of it. And in fact, I'm going to have a link down below to the website for the OT50 if you would kind of like to check it out for yourself and see where all the aid stations are, check out the elevation that I'm going to be doing, and just a little bit of information. Just if you're curious about it, then I'll have that information available. So like I said, the ouachita vest, highly recommend if you are looking for something that is very affordable and functional. If you're not looking for a ton of extra bells and whistles, this is a fantastic serviceable vest that will definitely serve your needs. So make sure that you check that out for yourself. Link down below to the Amazon store where you can find it. As far as what is going to be coming up on the channel, I am going to be continuing the Run the USA series by taking a look at some races in the state of Idaho. I've spoken to several people that live in Idaho in several different running groups that I'm in, and they all have some amazing suggestions. Finding that each state has its own kind of different vibe as to what they like to focus on and the types of races that they like to offer. It's been very, very fascinating. So you're not going to want to miss that. Make sure that you're subscribed so that you can catch that and the rest of the Run the USA series, where we take a look at the most highly recommended races in every state. As mentioned earlier, I am going to have race reports on the 5K this weekend and on the 50K over the next weekend, as well as my recovery afterwards. So I'm going to have videos coming up on that. I've got lots of ideas, lots of things that I could possibly do. So there's going to be some more coming up on the channel as to what my next adventure is going to be. So that wraps things up for the month of March. It has been wonderful. It was my birthday month. I've had a lot of great adventures this month, and I am ready to move on into the month of April and see what that has in store for me. As always, I am going to have a link down below to the Spotify playlist of the month. Every month I have a different playlist that I do around 30 minutes or so in case you need just an extra playlist for a 5K, for a workout. I do about 10 or so songs, and usually around some sort of a theme. So check that out below, as well as a link to a mega list of all the tracks that have been selected for all the months so far in one big list. This is your second reminder that if you've not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. It doesn't cost you a thing, and it keeps you involved here in the Geek Den. You can see all the running adventures and different running content that I have coming out all the time. You can also follow me on social media. All the links are down in the description. You can find me across all platforms under the name RunningGeekGirl. Thank you so much for being here with me for another month. I'm so glad that you're here, and I can't wait to see you next time. Remember to laugh hard, run fast, and be kind. See you guys later.